Xavier Miller. So you are a trainer of who today?
Kay Prospere, he's fighting Luke McCormack for the British title.
Okay, I love it. And I spoke to you earlier, and you've said you've trained some many great boxers, haven't you? Please let us know who.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to meet Don Charles years ago, and he's the one that kind of gave me my opportunity, took me to different fights. Didn't really know anybody at the time, but he said, "Just listen, the experience is going to be good for you," and end up doing a couple of fights with Derek Dezora, then eventually worked with Dillian White. Currently got really good boxers in my gym: Youssef Kamari, Ahmed Hatim, Kay Prospere is going to be on shortly. So yeah, it's been a good journey. I started in 1999, so I've been around a long time.
What made you, want to become a boxing coach?
At first, I actually didn't. I wanted to be a boxer and had some issues getting my medical because I wanted to be a professional boxer. That didn't happen, and kind of walked away from it for a while because it was disappointing. But then, one of my friends said to me, "Well, someone took a long time teaching you, so maybe you should think about getting involved in coaching." So I gave it a go and worked in a couple of amateur clubs before I started my own gym with my business partner, IQ Boxing. So yeah, been good.
I love that when that happens in life, when there's a redirection, take it into a positive way. And now, look, you're a great coach, and you've trained some great, amazing fighters.
Yeah, so it's a really good feeling because obviously, we had big plans when I was a boxer with my coach who died years ago when I was very very young. So to go on and meet so many good people in boxing has been a blessing.
What's been the most challenging thing being a coach?
I think just keeping fighters disciplined and focused, and that's the hardest part. Not necessarily the training. It's just you've got to be disciplined during fights and stick to a game plan. That's probably the biggest challenge.
Okay, and how do you overcome that then with your fighters?
Sometimes shout, sometimes throw things. It just depends.
What things do you throw?
That's an IQ secret.
Is it?
I'm known to have a bit of a bad temper sometimes, but it's a dangerous game. So you've got to make sure you're doing the right things in the gym so you can perform. And one thing you don't want to be involved in as a coach is getting involved in a tragedy. It's a serious business.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't have thought you have a temper. You seem like a calm, composed person, and I can see that you're wearing Kanye West. It's the College Dropout, one of my favorite albums.
Yeah.
Which is your favorite track on the album?
I don't even know. I like all this stuff. I just think he's just a great, very special, and very talented. Probably the best rapper producer of all time. Really, it'd be hard to find someone who can come close to him.
What advice would you give, young men and women that want to get into boxing? Because as you see, apart from the professional side of things, a lot of people want to get into boxing because they're influencers. You've got that crossover boxing. So what would you say to young people out there what want to get into boxing?
I would say find somebody that you're really comfortable with, that you believe in, and they believe in you, and go through the journey together. There's too many boxers, they might come up short, and boxers tend to find a lot of excuses why they didn't perform. Go away, go back to your gym, work, and come back and try again. I mean, they don't talk about loyalty in boxing. They say there is no loyalty in boxing, but not in my world. A lot of the boxers I've had with me since the amateurs, and even like Kay Prospere, I won my first domestic title with Kay, and now he's going to be fighting for a British title. He's 41, but we've done this together, and that's what makes it that much sweeter. It's just going on the journey together is what's really, really counts. You have short spells of boxers, but it doesn't feel the same.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of boxers that have been with me for years, like 15, 16, 17 years. So yeah, that's to me, find somebody you're comfortable with because there's a trust there. When there's an issue in the middle of like a crisis in the ring, you look to that person, try and get you out of it, and if you don't know the person well, you're not really going to trust them. So I would say go through the good and the bad. It's a journey. It's a long journey.
So you say beyond maybe just boxing, just getting to know your coach, a little bit more than that, like get to really know each other on, all levels that you possibly can.
100%, yeah. I think to being close to a boxer, and a lot of times you don't even have to say, I don't have to say much to some of the boxers I've got. They can tell by just looking at me. It's a good thing. Sometimes when you're in the middle of a fight, a lot of time people can hear exactly what it is that you're saying. And sometimes you don't want people to do that, but sometimes there's just body language between you and the boxer because you know each other really well. And there's things that you rehearse in the gym. So yeah, that familiarity, being around each other a lot, yeah, to me that's the most important thing.
I love that. I think people ignore those non-verbal cues. I know we do it with each other's friendships and whatever outside of like sports. So why not do it in sports? If you know the person, then you're going to pick up on those cues. What other tips could you give any boxers out there that want to get into boxing?
I would say stay amateur as long as you can. because some boxers are, they're just made for the pro game. But one thing you can't buy experience. And even when you have your first skills bout as an 8, 9, 10-year-old, you've gone from the dressing room to the ring. And the more times you've done that, the more comfortable you're going to be. And that's why the best boxers in the world, like Terence Crawford, like Lomachenko, Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, all these guys had extensive amateur career. And when they get in the ring, that's why they look so comfortable. Some guys, they just take to it quicker than others. But if you look at the best boxers in the world, Usyk, go and look at the amount of amateur fights they've had, 2 to 3 to 400. There's even someone like Adrian Broner, wasn't as disciplined towards the end of his career, but if you go and look at his amateur career, he had about 300 or 350 fights, and he became a full-weight world champion. It does count for something, So the longer you can stay in it, the better, and the younger you can start, the better.
No, I completely agree with that, because I feel like sometimes in the pro game you may not get a fight as soon as you want to, so you develop that ring rust. But if you've got that experience, then you can just go back into the ring and hopefully do your thing, right?
100%, and that's why a lot of guys can be like the Terence Crawford of the world, can be out for a year and come back and look exactly the same. A lot of boxers can't do that, but a lot of people don't understand it's the grounding and the fundamentals, especially in the US. Like their teaching system is better than everyone else's. That's why a lot of time when other countries get involved, get in the ring with those boxers, you can feel the education at times, and that's why a lot of them perform at that high level. But everyone's different. I've had guys that's come in my gym seriously, within 6 months they can beat up some of the other guys because it's just natural to them. It's just one of those things. But you're better off going where it's where it makes sense. Get the experience. That's the best way to go about it.
What's the difference between like the US teaching and maybe the UK teaching? One or two things maybe you can tell us about that.
I think the amateur system is a lot more intense. I think the different levels, like over here, we've got, I'm using more of an older term because it's a bit different. They've got like development, like novices, intermediates, like elites, like ABAs. But over there, it's like there's 7 or 8 different levels. I think, and from what I've been told when I was over there for a short period, like each coach you go to, you've got to tick a box with each of those coaches before you can move on to the next level. So that's why a lot of if you notice, like a lot of the American amateurs, they look like semi-pros.
That's true.
So I think the education system over there is still, we're catching up with them. Kay Prospere winning the fight. I think he's got a lot more experience. I do rate Luke McCormack. There has been some history there. I think Kay did spar his brother. But everyone knows everybody in boxing, so
small world, isn't it?
It's a very small world. So, but it's who turned up on a night. But Kay has had a lot of experience. He fought Sandor Martin, so he's been up as high as European level, and Sandor went on to fight Teofimo Lopez and lost by a split decision. So Kay's been at a high level. We just don't know how good Luke McCormack's going to be. So that's why it's a good fight. It's either it's too early for one or it's too late for the other. So it's a good fight.
And that's what makes it a great fight, as you said, isn't it? Yeah. Thank you very, very much for speaking to me.
You're welcome.
And all the best for your fighter.
Thank you.
Thank you.